Good evening. Today, history was made as Donald J. Trump was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, marking one of the most extraordinary political insurgencies in modern times. 4 years ago, he left Washington amidst scandal, impeachment, and national turmoil. Today, he returned to the Capitol to a rapturous applause from his supporters, heralded as a figure of defiance and resilience. But beneath the pageantry lies a world deeply divided in questions of what his return signifies for America and the wider global order. First, to the optics of the day, the crowds, while large, were not the record-breaking throngs his administration once claimed, but their enthusiasm was undeniable. President Trump's inaugural address struck familiar tones: an America First mantra, promises of economic revival, and a hardline stance on immigration and foreign policy. Yet, the world he re-enters is starkly different from the one he left in 2021. America is no longer simply grappling with domestic discontent, but navigating a geopolitical landscape redefined by authoritarianism, climate crisis, and rapid technological change. On foreign policy, early signals suggest an aggressive and unpredictable approach. Reports indicate plans to increase tariffs on traditional allies and to pursue what has been described as strategic territorial expansion. Greenland and Panama Canal were specifically named as points of interest, invoking a doctrine that conflates economic security with military ambition. The annexation rhetoric has already drawn comparisons to the territorial ambitions of other global powers, particularly China and Russia. The question is, how will this administration's actions align with international law? And perhaps more importantly, will allies stand firm against such overt challenges, or will economic pressures fracture these alliances further? Domestically, the Trump administration faces a polarized nation. Economic inequalities remains stark, with a wealth gap wider than at any time in modern history. Yet Trump's appeal endures among those who feel left behind by globalization and ignored by political elites. His administration has pledged sweeping reforms to Medicare and Social Security, but critics warn that these cuts will disproportionately harm the most vulnerable. And there is the growing influence of private capital in public governance. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and other tech magnates have become de facto policymakers, shaping national strategy through their wealth and influence. In this context, the implications for democracy cannot be overstated. The consolidation of wealth and power among a small elite threatens the very foundations of governance by the people. Critics fear that the lines between corporate interests and state functions are blurring beyond recognition, giving rise to a form of oligarchic rule. Trump's return, bolstered by these forces, reflects a world where populist leaders thrive not only in policy, but on their ability to stoke division and amplify discontent. What about the opposition? Both the Democratic Party in the United States and Labour in the United Kingdom face existential challenges. Once champion of the working class, their failure to address economic inequality and to engage meaningfully with voters on issues such as immigration, globalization, and cultural identity has left a vacuum. Populists like Trump have filled that space, co-opting grievances and reframing them as a fight for national survival. It's worth noting that many of the issues Trump exploits, concerns over free speech, immigration, and economic insecurity, are not inherently partisan. Yet, by failing to provide clear, actionable solutions, the left has allowed these topics to be defined by the far right. The result? A political landscape where division is weaponized and compromise feels increasingly impossible. So, where does this leave us? Trump's return marks more than a shift in leadership. It's a barometer of our times, reflecting a world grappling with the rise of populism, the decline of trust in institutions, and the unchecked influence of wealth in governance. For America's allies, his presidency presents a test of resilience, whether the global order can withstand the pressures of unilateralism and economic nationalism. For his supporters, this is a moment of triumph, a reclaiming of what they see as their country's rightful path. For his detractors, it's a reminder that democracy is not self-sustaining. It requires vigilance, participation, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about inequality, identity, and governance. As President Trump begins his second term, the world watches with anticipation, apprehension, and the sobering awareness that this moment is as much about the global trajectory of democracy as it is about the United States. Thank you so much for your attention. Please don't forget to subscribe to Gunpowder Chronicles for your support on independent journalism. Good night for now.